And here we go, the map is loaded up. Oh, excuse me, there we go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of the map way station, we have our orange Zerg player playing for NoMercy, the last player that they can send out in today's all-kill clan war. It is going to be Xoras. His opponent, who has been on a rampage already, killing everyone from NoMercy so far. Yes, he has scored all the points, but it is going to be our red Protoss in the bottom right hand corner. It is going to be Cuban from SForge. Now with this extremely long spawn positions, I have the feeling that something is going to go down with this probe very early on. No very early pools have been dropped down. This might be a hatchery first build even, but I have the feeling a Forge is going to come through in the very near future if he sniffs that out. Now the probe is on the other side of the map. The drone is being sent towards that towards the low ground, and that probe definitely has a potential to go for a cannon rush. But it looks like Cuban with that mineral bank that he has going for him, he just wants to go for a Nexus first himself, playing it macro this game. And it is, of course, going to be the question, will we see him go for a third base once again, or is he going to stay on 2 base and go for a big all-in push? Now he has the minerals for his Nexus right there. Oh, and he sees his opponent wants to go for a triple hatch before pool. And that means a Forge is going to be built, and there is going to be a cannon rush coming down. Cannon rushes are going to be very powerful against this. Still no spawning pool, and Cuban knows his opponent is playing very greedy right now, and I don't think that it's going to be that easy as Xoras hopes it to be. That probe is behind that hatchery, and he will be able to put down cannons in case he wants to. Also, back at home, the gateway is being started. He's not putting down those cannons anytime soon, but look at that. Even his extractor being built before the spawning pool, and the first pylon is going to be built at that third base location. This has not been spotted by Xoras just yet. He has the Overlord slowly coming closer. That is such an incredibly slow unit. But he is going to find that one cannon. And if workers get pulled right now, it is going to be a lot of lost mining time because it's a long distance to travel towards that third base location. He spots that cannon. Is he going to cancel that hatchery, or is he going to let it finish? He's going to cancel it. There we go, which means that only the pylon really is going to be there, and one cannon because he does not want the third base to go up completely free. But Cuban is not investing too much into this. He's going to get his own cybernetic score back at home. And with that cannon rush going to go down, it is making the build of Xoras pretty inefficient. Now, Zergling speed is already going to be on the way because he went for that very early gas. And with that very low commitment from Cuban, he is just going to be able to relocate that third base location. But the probe immediately going to the alternate position where there is not going to be a base anytime soon, at least not without the help from those Zerglings. So instead, he is using the money for those double queens, and look at how many minerals he is banking up so incredibly early in this game. He was hovering more than 500 minerals, and especially with the positioning of this cannon, it is going to be very annoying for Xoras to really get rid of that. So still no third base. Still one gas, but not mining from it anymore. He just mined 104 gas. That's all he really wants now. But there we go. Second gas going to be added on. Where is he going with this? Because his build has been stifled by Cuban quite significantly. And with Cuban scouting that the third base is not up just yet, he is putting down that extra cannon just to be safe against any pushes that might be coming his way. Also, the Zerglings of Xoras were already halfway across the map. They are going to be sent back to that third base location to try and make sure that that third base is going to go up without any problems. So behind this, Cuban can just macro up all that he wants. Oh. And what is going to be the tech? So far, 2 gateways are on the map already. He's getting his gases inside his natural base, which means that he wants to tech up. He might even want to go for a third base relatively early on because he is looking great. He is ahead of his Zerg opponent in the work account. and he's only 2 army supply behind. And of course, Zerg is always a little bit cheating with that because he can get those queens out, which they have to get at every base. That pylon, by the way, was scouted by those Zerglings, but the Zerglings were on move command. He's going to find it right now, and he is going to kill that off. But that Overlord being set inside the base of Cuban, he has traveled for a long time, only to be greeted by the tickle beams of one sentry to find his demise. He might live a little bit longer. Yes, actually, the sentry has to move all the way around, but there is 2 Stargates on the way. There are 2 extra gateways on the way, going up to 4 gateways, and it's going to be lucky for Xaros to find that base, because otherwise he would suffer from 48 pressure too. But remember, this base is still being protected by that one photon cannon. The Zerglings are not killing that off anytime soon just yet, and well, Xaros has to invest a little bit to get that going once again. The third base finally up, but not running just yet. He can transfer a few drones to that location, and he is producing 11 more drones, but his army supply is so incredibly low at this point. He is not investing in that at all, and the hallucinated Phoenix scouts everything that is going on. He sees that the Roach Warren is there and that the Hydralisk Den is in production. He knows the opponent is going to go for ranged units again, like Nady did on King Zhejiang Station. And let's see, I wouldn't be surprised for Cuban to take a third base, because he is in a very comfortable position actually. He's getting those Phoenixes out with which he can get some harassment done. There are already Spore Crawlers in most of the base, at least inside the natural, inside the main base. Not in the third just yet, but there's another probe. And he is going to put down another pylon, which will make the life of Xaros pretty uncomfortable. The Roaches are going towards that photon cannon to make sure that they get killed off, but they can all get lifted in the range of that photon cannon. That can get very annoying for Cuban. He kills off 1 or 2 Roaches with that, kills off a few Overlords, but he is going to lose that pylon and the photon cannon. The proxy pylon by Cuban has been put down, is getting scouted pretty much immediately by that one Overlord, and he's getting the probe away from there. Off creep, the probe is of course going to be faster than those Hydralisks. He's going to lose the pylon, yes, but at least he saved the probe, so still more reinforcements can be coming through. 4 extra gateways on the production tab, going up to 8 gateways off of 2 bases. That is going to be an all-in build for sure. One of the Phoenixes does go down, I do believe, or did that just kill off a pylon? No, he killed off one of the Phoenixes. That's going to be a little bit painful for Cuban in this game, and also that probe is just being chased around. That Overlord has perfect vision of it once again, and the Zerglings will kill off the last remaining pylon after they have dealt with that probe, cancelling that pylon because no aggression will be coming down. Now, of course, he let all the gateways finish. He's not aborting completely, but he is, well, I do believe he wants to go for a third base relatively quickly. The +2 attack upgrade is done. Zealot Charge is nearing completion now too, and he is warping in a lot of units, a lot of Zealots, a lot of sentries. Is he looking to go and get his third base, or is he just sending out another probe? He is just sending out another probe. He wants to go for the attack very soon. And that's a lot of Phoenixes actually on the map, still producing them 2 at a time, with the Zealot Charge is completing right now, and well, with mostly Hydralisks at the front. If the Zealots get in contact with them with the +2 attack upgrade, they are going to drop like flies. You don't want to get hugged by any Zealots anytime soon, because that is just painful no matter how you look at it. Zerglings will see exactly what is moving out, but this army from Cuban is looking pretty scary at this point. The only problem is for him is that the third base for Xaros is up and running right now, and he does not have any high damage units. He can lift up a lot of units, but those Hydralisks will just shred through any Phoenixes that are going to be added on, and the lifting will start right now. There's a lot of energy, but Phoenixes will drop very quickly in this composition, and this engagement went horrible for Cuban, and he is typing the GG, well played. That is not going the way that he wanted to. Too many Hydralisks, and his army is just getting obliterated right now. Back at home, he really has nothing. He lost his entire army. Those Hydralisks were in a pretty decent spot. Just curious why Cuban is still in this game right now. He's not producing anything. His APM is at 0. He's just waiting for his opponent to knock on his door and break through his wall, but he can leave the game. He is just frustrated with himself, most likely. Not 100% sure, but he's not doing anything as well. Maybe a little bit of a bug in the matrix, but this attack from Xorus is going to come through, and I hope that Cuban is not going to let him kill off all the buildings, because that is going to take a while. The Hydras, yes, they do have big damage output, but let's see. The score will be 3-2, still in favor of SForge. SForge can send out their next player. Still 0 APM. Cuban has just left his computer. Not sure why that is, but this battle is over. No army for Cuban whatsoever, and finally he leaves the game. Xorus has taken his first game